Hey y'all, Rick Sky here. Thanks again for all the excellent DJI Neo questions. And this question came from actually several viewers, and they asked me, they're like, hey man, is the DJI Neo too small? And I thought about that for a minute, because if you've been a subscriber of my channel, you know that I've been flying drones since DJI Phantom 1. So that's a long time ago. And if you've watched my videos, and if you haven't subscribed, ring that bell and check out all my older videos too. But you've known that since the early days of drones, especially when DJI first announced the DJI Inspire, the very large and heavy drone, they made such a big deal about the Inspire's release. And around that point in time, I was deeply concerned, because I felt that DJI's direction may be to pursue a larger and heavier drone, and that wasn't convenient. I mean, at its time, the DJI Phantom was portable, but it wasn't optimally portable. It was too big, it was too heavy, but it was the best we had when drones first came out. And then to see DJI transition from DJI Phantom to something even bigger and heavier, it scared me. But fortunately, my gut was wrong, and DJI has been delivering smaller and lighter drones. And actually, this drone right here, the DJI Neo, and to answer y'all's question, people are like, hey man, is the DJI Neo too small? Well, let's just dissect that. And I'm going to tell you, like I do within all my drone videos, I don't sugarcoat anything. I tell you how I feel, and I answer your questions. So comment below, ask questions below, and I'll try to post video responses. I will say that this drone, DJI Neo, could be too small for certain use cases. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if you've flown the DJI Mini series, you know that although DJI Mini is super small and DJI Mini is super lightweight, DJI Mini is not even close to the smallness and the lightweightness. Those are probably not even two words. I just made them up, smallness and lightweightness. But you know what I'm saying. This takes it to the next level. With that being said, even though this is so small and so lightweight, this tiny 4K drone can really perform well. So like I said, check out, subscribe, ring that bell if you haven't already. Check out my DJI Neo's video playlist. You can see this sucker in action. Not just the camera's image quality and stability, but also the you can see it from other camera angles. You can see how well it performs. It's got a very stable hover. The one area where people could say, might be able to argue that DJI Neo is too small, is if they're planning to fly in moderate wind. The DJI Mavic Mini and the larger DJI Mavics, they handle moderate wind exceptionally well. This, if you're getting a little bit stronger wind gust, this will drift around a little bit. DJI Neo, at least the first iteration, this is the original DJI Neo. This is obviously the production version. It's not a pre-release. But the original DJI Neo does not have obstacle avoidance. So, is it too small? Is it too lightweight? Well, if there was a moderate amount of wind and you were trying to get around a tree branch or an umbrella or something, the lack of obstacle avoidance would enable this to make contact with an umbrella, a tree, or whatever. So I never use obstacle avoidance. I never assume that it exists to be safe and responsible. But given the ultra small and ultra lightweight nature of the Neo, the only way I would say this is too small and too lightweight is if you're intending to fly in moderate wind. You know, maybe you live in a windy environment. This may not be the drone for you unless you're planning to fly it indoors. That's one of the cool things about the DJI Neo being so small and so lightweight. This is easy to take off inside a house. I mean, don't do it around any breakables, but it's easy to fly around indoors and have a good time there as well. But for outdoors with I would say with moderate or stronger wind, you're probably going to want to go with one of the physically larger and physically heavier drones, even if it's just stepping up from this to the DJI Mini, because the DJI Mini inevitably can handle wind a little bit better than the DJI Neo. Not to say the Neo doesn't do an exceptional job with wind, but in comparison to the larger and physically larger and heavier DJI drone offerings, the DJI Neo would be at a slight disadvantage. But I don't think it's too small. It's large enough, obviously flying line of sight, to be safe and responsible. The DJI Neo is large enough to easily be able to maintain constant visual line of sight with the drone while flying. So it's large enough from that perspective. It's easy to see. Even though it is kind of a color that could blend with clouds in the background, it's still easy to see. I like the Neo. I don't think it's too small, and I don't think it's too lightweight. But like I said, there's a use case for every drone. So if your typical flying environment has, most of the time, more wind, you may want to look at a drone that's physically larger and heavier than the DJI Neo. So I'm sharing my opinion. You know, I'm not going to sugarcoat stuff and tell you, oh man, DJI Neo is the best drone in the world just because it's the newest. I'm never going to do that. At the time of filming this video, yes, this is the latest and greatest DJI drone model, but again, it's the smallest and the lightest. So if, depending upon your intended use case, this may not be the optimal drone for you. So I hope this video helps steer you in the right direction if you're shopping for the DJI Neo. The case like I use, the accessories, expand this video's description, and then click the links there. And likewise, I've got all the other drones linked there as well. Got questions, comments, comment below, and I'll try to post a video response. And thanks again for this question. Great question. Y'all have a good day. And as a reminder, I am the drone evangelist. Always practice and preach safe and responsible drone use. Because if we're not responsible drone hobbyists, this hobby could cease to exist. And that would be catastrophic. So I encourage everyone, be your own drone evangelist. Practice and also preach safe and responsible drone use. Because if we don't, like I said, this hobby could cease to exist. And we don't want anything catastrophic like that to happen. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, Captain Irix Guy here. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/Irix Guy. And ring that bell icon when you do to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.